Hey everybody, this is Marcellus Troy Alexander. We are excited to be back one more time. Inspiration with Troy Alexander Live. Listen, tonight is a special broadcast, and I'm honored that our guest is with us tonight. Listen, stay connected with us. We're on Facebook, Troy Alexander. We're on Instagram at Picked by Design. We're on YouTube, Inspiration with Troy Alexander, and our nonprofit Call to Inspire.org. I am excited tonight about everything that is happening and what is going on, not only for our destiny, your dream, my dream, all of our dreams, right? This is what our broadcast is all about, to encourage you to follow your dream. Our motto is dream, take that step and walk with purpose into your destiny. But tonight, very powerful tonight. Listen, I want to just say this broadcast came about due to the death of Chesley Crest, who is Miss USA 2019. She was a lawyer, entertainment correspondent, and so much more. And so many of us were moved by her passing and her life being taken, her taking her life, and spoke to the impact of mental health. It spoke to the impact of so much into pageantry and all that she was doing. But listen, I happened to see a video on Instagram, and so many were putting videos on social media talking about the impact of her passing and her death upon, and again, it truly touched my heart. And so I saw this video of this amazing young lady that we have tonight, our guest, and I felt that her story needed to be heard. And so I want to introduce her. She is Miss Belleville Teen USA. She is the third runner-up Miss New Jersey Teen USA 2021. And on her bio, this broadcast will touch upon the topic of coping with mental health as a teen pageant title holder and the pressure of keeping the pageant image. Wow, as well as talking about her experience struggling with major depressive disorder and how she was able to cope as a public figure, also about breaking the stigma and the facade around mental health and the overall public image of pageant girls. Let's welcome Darianny BAUTISTA. How are you, Darianny?
Hello, I'm doing great today. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much. Your story, when I saw it on Instagram, truly touched my heart. It moved me so much. I was like, wow, you never know, right? What someone is going through or has gone through or is going through. And so I guess I want to ask you the first, when you heard about Chesley taking her own life in the manner in which she did, what the thoughts that you felt in that moment?
I was actually laying in my bed and I got a text message from my pageant sister, Jamie, and it was an article and I clicked it, and all the article said was, woman who jumped from 29-story building in New York City is identified as Miss USA 2019 Chesley Crest. And I instantly felt this pit in my chest, not in my stomach, in my chest. I felt like a piece of my soul kind of broke away. And I instantly started crying. And I cried not only because she was such an inspiration. She was actually the first Miss USA that I was able to see crowned, because I haven't been in the pageant industry for too long. And she is not only was she a part of the trio, the holy trinity of these amazing Black women, yet she was also, she was one of us. She's a pageant girl, just like any one of us. And seeing what she was going through and thinking about what she was possibly going through, it was almost a wake-up call, because after placing at Miss New Jersey Teen USA, my life changed a lot. I got so many opportunities. I immediately was in the public eye, and I'm also recompeting for Miss New Jersey Teen USA. So what I'm doing is always being tracked, and I need to be very careful with my words. I always need to be very careful with my image. I can't dress a certain way. I can't look a certain way. I can't say certain things. And it is damaging to your mental health. And in that moment, I felt called out, because I haven't spoken out, and I'm a very outspoken person. I haven't spoken about the double life that we're expected to live as pageant girls. We're expected to be perfect. I have to smile on social media all the time. The constant pressure to look amazing and always look fresh and clean, like the majority of us. And no one really talks about that. And I felt called out, and it really brought out a lot of emotions in me, because I think I've been partaking in the lack of the conversation and the lack of accountability from the pageant community.
Wow, I want to applaud you, because your story, both on Instagram and even now, is going to touch so many lives. And I have to ask you, when did you get the courage to be able to share your story? Because I want to just because on your video, you talk about how again, you've dealt with depression since the age of 4, and how you talked about how you've even tried to take your own life, even as late as age 14, and you're age 18 now, right?
Yes.
Even as at the age of 14, you tried to take your own life. So I'm so moved. Like, I would have never known that unless you did that video. I would have never known what you're experiencing and you're feeling. When did you become strong enough to share your story?
Growing up, I was very much ashamed of my story. It's something that society tells you to be embarrassed about, honestly, especially when you're a public figure, especially when you're a pageant girl. You're meant to be perfect. And I found strength in my struggle. And I'm proud of everything that I had to go through, because I realized that in order to be happy, you have to go through unhappy moments. I believe there's 2 types of people in the world. There are people who go through negative things, and they allow those negative things to let their lives continue being negative, and they use it as an excuse. And then there are people who go through negative things and use it for fuel to their fire, like I like to say, and they use it to strengthen their drive so that they can be better people. And I think that's when I was able to build up the strength, when I realized that my past may not define me, but it makes me the woman that I am today, the young woman that I am today. And it's a strength rather than a weakness. That's when I decided this isn't something that I should be ashamed of. And I didn't have any role models growing up. I didn't see anyone talking about it. And a lot of people like to say that you can't be what you can't see. Rather, I believe that you can be so much more than what you can see. There was a time where there were no female role models. We didn't have women in politics. We didn't have women going out. Yet one woman stood up, and then we had the women's suffragist movement. And now today, women have the rights that we have today in America because one woman decided to believe in her imagination and see what she could be. And so I believe that even though no one was willing to talk when I was younger about their mental health, and nobody was really open to have that uncomfortable conversation, if I can be that representation, if I can let another young girl know that her past or what she's gone through or what she looks like or where she comes from does not define her future or the opportunities and is not an obstacle to her success, then I have fulfilled my life's ambition.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful, Darian. I love that. And I'm telling you, your journey is saving lives. It is. Your journey is bringing people back. And so I thank you for sharing it. Thank you. And I hope you continue to share it. And whatever I can do to be a support to you to continue to share your story, I'm here for you. So thank you so much. I gotta ask you, like, what do you feel has helped you to be at this place now? Right from those moments where you are feeling like, you know what, there's no further to go. What helped you to get to a place of strength, of greater strength, of where you are now?
I would say 2 things. First, my faith in God. I believe that without God, I would not be where I am today. And I've seen his workings in my life. And so I'm a very faith-based person. And I would say that pageantry saved my life. I say it, and a lot of people say that maybe it's an exaggeration. I am not exaggerating when I say that pageantry saved my life. You know, when I was 14, 13, 12, going through probably the peak of my depression, I felt like I had no purpose. I felt like there was nothing to look forward to. And I wasn't looked at as somebody who was an overachiever, somebody who could succeed. I was expected to be your cliche bad kid, as a lot of people say, because I was going through a lot. I was quite the rebel when I was younger, and I wasn't in a good environment. Yet, as I got older, I I was able to enter into pageantry, and pageantry really was the gateway to all of my opportunities. It's my living, driving passion. Like being on that stage, meeting so many young women, it has completely filled my life with purpose. It taught me my love for public service and community service, which is why I'm a political science major now, because I love public service. I love helping people. Pageantry was probably the defining moment of my life. I am the young woman I am today because I stepped on a stage and wasn't afraid to share a piece of myself with an audience. And it really has given me the opportunity to really be that person that I always wanted to be when I was growing up.
Wow. Wow. Just amazing, Darian. Listen, I gotta ask you, so much, I heard so many people, and even in your video too, right? So it's amazing how pageantry helped to save you, right? But also, it not just pageant, but anything that we go for in life, any goal, right? That we seek to achieve, that it always comes with expectations, right? And you talked about earlier about, you know, feeling like you have to be perfect. What what do you think can change that? Like, because I know that so many, continue in pageantry, right? But as you said, they don't feel like they can make a mistake, right? They don't feel they can have a off day, a not so okay day. How do you balance that with, the expectation of what maybe those in pageantry may look for with what the reality is? How do you balance that?
I think that there's this stereotype that society has on pageantry, that it's discriminatory and that it can be degrading towards women. And when we allow pageantry to feed into that expectation of perfection, then it will be discriminatory and it does degrade women, because what we should be portraying is female empowerment. And what is more empowering than being our real selves? And so the way that I balance it is by being here and talking about what needs to be talked about. When I'm able to share a piece of myself, and not just the pieces of myself that I share on social media that are all nice and happy, when I'm able to sit here and talk about the ugly, the uncomfortable that nobody wants to talk about, I'm taking away and stripping away that expectation. And I'm giving myself, not just other people, but also myself, an opportunity to heal, an opportunity to talk. Because I think that everyone should have the opportunity to voice what they've gone through and to have the strength to really rise up and talk about what they've gone through and what they want to change in the world.
Love that. Oh my goodness, I love that, Darianny. And I'm so proud of you. I am just truly so proud of you. I want you to just tell me about because I know I felt it in times past, and I know that social media, right? It's a two-edged, right? Where it can be a wonderful platform to get your message out, right? But then it can also be sort of a weight where you feel like I have to always be on, right? I have to always like have a post to get more likes. Have you experienced that in terms of pageantry or in what you've done, where you feel like, you know what, I got to post every day, or I got to post twice a day, or I got to, do you feel that at all?
I do actually. I'm a public figure, so social media is the biggest platform that we have to connect with everyone around the world. And when you're a pageant girl, you want to connect with as many people as possible, because we are representatives of an entire community. And so I do know what it's like to feel like you have to be posting every day. And I want people to know, because personally, for me, it isn't much of a burden, but I know what it's like to almost feel like you're faking it. And I want people to know that you don't have to post on social media to be a good representative of your community. I don't often talk about the projects and the initiatives that I work on via social media. I just kind of update people on my life, and I just kind of say hi every now and then, and I post every now and then. But you don't need to be giving your entire life to social media. Social media was meant to be a positive resource, yet it becomes a negative resource when we don't use it responsibly and with education. So if we start teaching young people, especially, the how to responsibly and with education use social media, then it will be what it's meant to be, a positive resource.
Wow. Wow. Listen, I can't, you're just, you're touching so many points, and wow, amazing, amazing, Darian. And so I'm hearing you, and I'm saying to myself, I see so many people who equate their value with how many likes or how many comments. What do you think can be done, or what's been your experiences? Because I've seen too many, right, especially young girls, but young people in general, right, where they value who they are based upon what somebody else thinks about them. And it's it's sad that that's how it's come to. But I've seen so many not like themselves or love themselves because not enough people liked their picture.
I totally understand, and I see it too. You know, we're so focused on how many likes we have on Instagram, how many profiles liked our pictures on Instagram, that we don't really realize how many people actually like us in reality. And
Wow.
we're not as connected as we used to be once. I would say to the people who base their value on social media, and I don't think I'm one of those people that has based her value on social media, but I do know what it's like to see that you only have 50 likes, and you're like, why only 50 likes? And then it's like a little mental check that I have. Like, why are you upset that there's only 50 likes on this post? And I would say to them, it's a healing journey. I'm actually in a healing journey right now. You need to learn how to self-love. And society is always saying, like, oh, self-love this, self-love that. Oh, here, you need to self-love yourself. Yet we're not telling them what steps to do, what steps to make to really work on that inner love, that inner peace. And so the way that I've been able to work through my inner peace is I decided to cut any excess energy out of my life. I just started college, and so I'm meeting so many people. There's so much energy coming into my life, and it's a little overwhelming. And my first semester, I can say that I was very overwhelmed, and I didn't know how to really move through everything, and I wasn't doing as well as I usually do. And so this semester I decided, you know what, I need to work on self-love. I need to focus on Darianny. And so I decided to cut off all of that excess energy, and I really focused myself on me. Even when you feel like you don't love yourself, and even when you feel like you want to be alone or you hate being alone with yourself, I would say push yourself to romanticize your life. Push yourself to believe that you are the greatest person. Because if you believe that within yourself and you start romanticizing yourself and occupying yourself with things that only aid you and your happiness, then that's working towards self-love.
Wow, Darian, beautiful, beautiful. That's that is something that we have to promote more of, right? Is self-love. That irrespective of what others might think about me or about my hair or my no hair or my skin color, right? Or whatever it might, or my height, right? Whatever it might be, I have to love me first, right? And I always encourage people, anybody who's in a relationship, I tell them, listen, you have to be whole and complete first before you go into any kind of relationship. Never allow someone else to complete you, because that gives them too much power over you.
Yeah.
So be complete and whole yourself they can add on to you, right? But be whole within you first. And it's fine to have people to add on to your life. That's great, right? It's wonderful when people can add into you and pour into you. But I want to ask you about the people around you. When you were growing up, did you feel that you had a support system around you? I was thinking about Chesley, right? And I was saying to myself, you know, in that hotel room, I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know, that she was by herself, you know, as opposed to having friends or family or anyone there. So it made me think about the importance of people around us every day, right? So I wanted to ask you though, growing up, did you feel you had a support system around you, or were there moments you felt like, even though they might have been there, you felt like not really?
I actually was very fortunate to have a support system. I was able to get diagnosed at 4 years old with major depressive disorder because my mom saw the signs and she immediately went out and found the resources necessary to get me help. And I was fortunate enough to be in therapy for most of my childhood. And so I was lucky enough to not just have a support system at home with my family, but also have a support system within my therapists. I remember I had this one therapist, her name was Delilah, and she was actually my last therapist before they completely finalized my case and said that I was stable and ready to go out in the real world. And she was the best mentor. And honestly, like to this day, I carry her in my heart. And even though I was lucky enough to have that support system, I definitely felt that I didn't have it growing up. I definitely didn't see the blessings that I had because a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to have parents or family members or guardians that can see the signs. A lot of people, are very closed-minded, especially when it comes to mental health. And so I was fortunate to have my mom there and have my sisters there, and they went out and they got help for me. And whenever I needed them, they were there for me, even if I felt that I was being misunderstood.
Oh, wow. Listen, it's a blessing. So we want to say, you know, thank God for your mom and your family and those that were around you to recognize it, right? And to give you the support that you needed. Powerful, wonderful. And we applaud them for that. And look who you have become and who you are still becoming. I'm so excited for you, Darianny. I just, you know, there's people that you meet that you see, you know what, there is truly no limit to what you can achieve and what you're gonna, but you know what, more so who you are, separate from the things, right? That even if those don't, you still are amazing and wonderful and beautiful and strong and just but I can see that in you. I mean, I've been working with, you know, I I can see it and I know what I see. So I'm super excited about seeing what's next for you. I truly am. And so um I did want to ask you, as you're going, because you're going back into the Miss USA New Jersey, right? Pageant, right? Okay. And so I wanted to ask you, how do you mentally prepare for that, right? Because I always wonder, because there's so many that are vying for like one crown, right? So how do you mentally prepare? Because knowing that only one person is going to walk away, and but the other, however many that are there, right? They have to still walk away knowing that they're amazing and they're beautiful and they did their best, right? So how do you prepare yourself before going into pageantry?
Well, I've been competing in pageants since I was 15, and I didn't win my first one. I won my second one, and I didn't win my third one. My third one was Miss New Jersey Teen USA 2021. And I prepared myself for Miss New Jersey Teen USA 2021 for about 2 years. And the mental preparation started in 2019, which is why I say it took 2 years, because it took me 2 years to convince myself that I was worthy and that whether or not I walked away with the crown, I'm still worthy. You know, they say that only one girl's life will change because she's the girl who wins. Yet I ended up as third runner up and my life has changed completely. I made my best friend I actually met at the pageant. Her name is Jamie Diogo. And I've been able to make so many connections with all of the young women there. And I am a firm believer that when one door closes, another one opens. Just because you might not win the pageant doesn't mean that there isn't something greater waiting for you in the end. You never know if I might win Miss New Jersey Teen USA, and you never know if I walk away without the crown and there is something even greater and higher for my purpose. And I'm a true believer in that. And I believe that although it's a pageant and it's a competition and only one girl will win, every single one of us is a winner, because just being there is an amazing opportunity, being able to represent our communities. When I had Belleville just across my chest, my hometown, it filled me with so much pride and honor to say, I am the representative of my entire community. And that in itself is the biggest win.
Wow. Wow. Wonderful. Yes, you win. You win. You are a win. I'm so happy for you and excited for you. I want to ask you, Darianny, with all that's happened, right, with Chesley and her wonderful life, right, that she has given to us, the world, a light of inspiration and hope, and just the strip that she exemplified. Um, will you approach pageantry differently this year or in the years to come? Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, do you see it differently, and will you approach it differently in any manner?
I've always carried myself in pageantry since day one with the mentality that the most important quality that any queen can have is kindness, because you never know what anyone else is going through. And if I can be that stranger on the street that smiles at you and makes your day a little better, then as a pageant title holder, I am glad to be that person. And so coming in now after the passing of Chesley Crest, I will continue carrying myself that way. And I think the only thing that I would really change is being more vocal about my own struggle. I know what it's like. I'm not your traditional pageant girl. To many, I'm considered plus size. I'm a size 8, even though I'm not plus size. And it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and then see all the other pageant girls and say, well, I don't look like her. And she doesn't look like me. Yet I say to myself, if I can be that representation, it's so refreshing to be able to see that there is another pageant girl that's succeeding, that looks like me, that's going through what I go through. When I see a plus size woman in pageantry like Emma Loney, like Claudia Engelhardt, and I see her shining bright, it makes me feel good about myself. And I say to myself, if she can do it, I can do it. And I think about the same aspect with my mental health. If I'm succeeding and I've made it this far, despite what I've had to go through, another girl can see herself through me and say, wow, she made it, I can do it too. And so I want to share that strength and uplift every young girl that I see and meet. And so coming into pageantry and coming into Miss New Jersey Teen USA and pageantry in the future overall for me, I'm going to be as vocal and as raw and real as I possibly can be.
Powerful. I can't wait to see what's next for you, Darianny. I can't wait, because it's awesome and amazing. I love your strength. I love your courage. I love your truth.
Thank you.
I love your truth. I love your truth. And so, for a young lady that might just be going into pageantry, right? What would you say, at least for you, has been the biggest expectation that you had to face or that you had to deal with, being a title holder?
It was definitely my body. When I was 16 years old, I went to a pageant event with my sash and crown, and I sat at a table with about 10 adults, and they were complimenting me. They were telling me that I have so much potential and that I have, the potential to compete in big international pageants, and maybe one day I could be Miss Universe. And then they said, but you'll never truly succeed in pageantry because you're too fat. And to a 16-year-old, that is detrimental. To this day, I remember it, and it definitely left a mark. It definitely left a mark. And having that expectation of you have to be slim because that's the only way that you look healthy was definitely one of the biggest ones that I've struggled with. Yet I stand here today and I'm 5'6.5". I weigh 155 pounds. I used to weigh 194 pounds. I was very much overweight for my height. And I lost 50 pounds only off of wanting to change my lifestyle to be healthier. Not because I wanted to lose weight, but because I wanted to be the best version of myself possible when I sit on that stage. And I stand here at 150 pounds, 55 pounds, and I'm still 1.4 pounds overweight for my BMI. And I have a 40-inch hip. I do not look like the majority of the pageant girls that you see. I wear a size 10, I wear a size 8, and I don't plan in fitting in a size 2 ever. And I am happy with myself. I'm happy with my body. I'm happy for who I am. And I'm proud to be that representation. I'm proud that hopefully a girl like me, like the same girl that I used to be a couple years back, who might think that she's too fat for pageantry, I hope that she can see me, see my hips, see my curves, see the little pudge that I have in my stomach, see my little cheeks that I have, and say, if she did it, I can do it. If she had the courage, I will have the courage.
Yes, yes. I love it, Darian. Listen, I'm sitting here and like I am rooting for you. I am cheering, like I am excited for just you, right? I mean, just separate from the crown, the sash, just the woman you are, the person you are today, and where you've come from, right? You've won.
Thank you.
You've won, and there's so much more. So, and it's wonderful to hear your journey, your testimony, your story, your truth, your realness, your rawness, right? All of that, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So please continue to share your journey. Oh my goodness. So I want to ask you, it's we talk about having, again, positive influences around us, right? And you said it this year. I think you said when you got to college, right? And you realized that you had to sort of readjust sort of the space that you were in and who you allow in your space. So I want to ask you, how does one go about doing that, right? Because so many people don't know how to let people go, or let things go, or let spaces go, or because they may want that attention, or they may want something from them. But how did you get to a point where you're able to say, you know what, that's not healthy for me, and I'm okay without it? How did you get there?
Going into college, it's very easy to want to live the college life. There's that stereotype of like partying and this and that and all that stuff. Yet for me, I can't do those things. And the way that I reminded myself of that is I have a higher purpose. I'm a public figure. Although I want to fit into the social construct, and I might want to go out and party and be a regular teenager, are those things really benefiting me? Not at all. Going out and partying and just feeding into the peer pressure is not beneficial. It's not positive, and feeding into that social construct is not going to better you as a person. And I think that's what really tapped into me. You know, my higher purpose, I'm a representative, I'm a role model, and any role model that allows peer pressure is not a role model. So I have to stay true to myself, stay true to my morals, and stay true to who I want to be and who I'm becoming. And my self-love for myself is more powerful than any social construct.
Wow. Listen, I have to tell you, um, your words are so moving. They're so life-changing. And everyone who watches this now live, and those who will see it after this, tell me about the importance of, you said self-love, but tell me about the importance and this role, how this had a role in your life about self-talk. Did you have to tell yourself differently than what those panelists, judges said, or what other people might say? Do you have a process by which you tell yourself, like, hey, I'm beautiful. I'm okay. At least say with my cheeks and my, yes, I am beautiful. Like, do you go through any kind of processes where you tell yourself and talk to yourself?
I do actually. I love having me time.
Yeah.
And ever since I was a young girl, I always say this, that if I had the opportunity to go back and speak to my younger self, I would tell her that she was right. And the reason why I would tell her that she was right is because when the world was against me and no one believed in me, even when I was going through the biggest struggle of my life, even when I was so depressed, even when I was suicidal, even when I was self-harming as a young girl, I would always tell myself, I believe in me and I know that I'm right. And I know that I'm going to be somebody someday. Even going through all of those things, I would say that to myself as an 11, 12, and 13-year-old. And if I could go back, I would tell her, you were right. Because now as an adult, I say it to myself still. I believe in me. If you don't believe in me, then I will sit at this table by myself and succeed on my own. I believe in myself wholeheartedly. So when that table of adults was telling me that I would never be successful in pageantry, I brushed it off because I said, yes, that was hurtful, but I'm not going to let anyone else's version of beauty affect how I feel about myself. When I look in the mirror, even when I weighed 194 pounds, I felt gorgeous. I didn't see a single problem in who I was. The only reason I lost weight was because I wanted to be healthier. I wasn't healthy at the time. I was eating McDonald's every single day. And so I decided, let me fix my eating habits, and the weight just fell off with it. Yet myself as a person, I learned how to love myself. I learned not only how to love myself, but how to see myself through the eyes of someone else, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So when I look at myself in the mirror, I say to myself, you are empowering, you are inspiring, and you are worthy and deserving of the world, no matter what you go through, no matter what you look like, and no matter what anyone has to say about you.
Yes, Darian. Yes. You are. My goodness, the world is yours. It truly is. And I can't wait. I'm so excited for you. Wow. I just two more questions for you. And if you could change anything about pageantry, right? If you just have the control to just change anything about any aspect of it, would you change anything? And if yes, what would that be?
I actually am changing a little bit of pageantry right now because I am putting forth a scholarship pageant at my college currently, because I want to flip the script on the stereotype of pageantry. People say that pageantry is objectifying and discriminatory. And when we refuse to be inclusive and we don't diversify and we don't represent every person, then we are objectifying and we are discriminatory. And so I want to let people see and let society see pageantry through my eyes as something that has saved me and has made me a better woman and has helped me connect with all of my pageant sisters. And so I'm currently pushing forth the idea of having a scholarship pageant at my college in which the female student body will be able to connect with each other. Social life on campus between women will be much better. And a girl will walk away, actually 5 girls, because anybody who enters the top 5 will walk away with a scholarship towards their education, because that's the most important thing.
Wow. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Wow. Listen, I am beyond proud of you. I truly am. You are you are you are, giving light to others who might still be in the shadows,
Thank
right?
you.
You're giving them the permission to be real and to tell their story. And I know that more people from this broadcast are going to do that because of you. So continue on, and whatever I can do to be a support to you with your pageant on campus, whatever that is, whether it's offer your winners, a photo shoot or whatever, you just let me know. But whatever I can do to be a support to you, I want to do that. I am so proud of you. So listen, I don't have much more, but I just wanted to come on and just really let everyone hear your amazing story. So I'm going to give you the platform. I'm going to give you the floor, and you can just share if there's anything else that you want to share. And of course, you want to give the hotline number to the National Suicide Prevention hotline number as well. So if anyone needs support, we want to make sure that we give out that number. But the journey is yours. The platform is yours. Is there more you want to share with us about who you are, what you're doing, who you're becoming, but the platform is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. As you already heard for maybe the past 20-30 minutes, my name is Darianny Bautista, and I'm a New Jersey State pageant title holder. I'm an advocate for female empowerment, mental health, and sexual assault prevention. And I've been able to start movements, not just in my hometown, but in my entire state for female empowerment, mental health, discrimination prevention, and sexual assault prevention. And even though I'm so many of these great things and I've came such a long way, I know what it's like to feel that you are at rock bottom. And I know what it's like to feel like there is nothing to look forward to. I know what it's like to feel like your family doesn't understand you, like you have no support system and no friends. And I know overall what it's like to feel like you are worthless. And I stand here today to tell you that no matter what you are going through, if nobody has told you, I will tell you, you are worthy, you are deserving, you are empowering, and you have a purpose. Whether you are blinded now, you won't be blinded for long because you are amazing. And if nobody has told you yet, I love you. And I think that every single person on this planet has a purpose. And if you are struggling with self-harm, or if you're struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts, or any of it, know that I've been there, and anyone can reach out to me through my Instagram, through my Facebook. My name is Darianny Bautista on Instagram and Facebook, and I will be that helping hand. I'm just so moved to have this platform. And so if I can be that person to anybody, that mentor to anybody, that helping hand to anybody, please reach out to me whenever. And the suicide hotline is on Google. I don't know it by memory, but you can always search it up. I've used it myself in the past when I was struggling with self-harm and suicide, and it really did help having somebody to talk to. So please go ahead, use those resources that are there for you. Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to reach out to me or anyone else that you may feel may be a good support system to you. And always remember that sometimes you need to go through unhappy moments to feel happy. And when life may seem that it's falling apart, it may actually be falling into place.
Thank you, Darian. Thank you so much. Everyone, please applaud this amazing young lady. I'm so proud of you, and I love you, and you're amazing. So I just want you to know that as well. So everyone, the 800 number, 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-8255. That's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. So, and as Darianny said, you can Google it as well. Please reach out for help if you need it. And she's here for you as well on all platforms of social media. Thank you, Darianny.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, please, again, let's applaud this amazing young lady. We're so excited to see what's next for her. Again, this is Inspiration with Troy Alexander Live. We are here every week as we can with amazing guests to inspire you to hold on to your dream and to not let go of who you are and what is coming next for you. Our motto is dream, take that step and walk with purpose into your destiny. So thank you so much for your support and your love. Our next broadcast is next Monday. Don't miss it at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. An amazing young lady again who's going to be on our broadcast. Thank you, Darianny, so much. Love you. You're amazing. So proud of you. Thank you so much. Have a great night.